The frustration you feel, that gnawing sense of financial resistance, is not a failure of effort. It is the sound of an internal program running against your conscious desire. Perhaps you recognize the relentless cycle. You work harder, you try new strategies, you push with every ounce of willpower, but the moment you get ahead, the universe seems to conspire to pull you back. Maybe it's an unexpected expense, a sudden opportunity that vanishes, or a wave of self-sabotage that forces your hand right when success is within reach. This feeling, the exhaustion of constantly fighting an invisible current, is universal. We tend to believe the block is external. The economy, the market, the job, or luck. But the deepest, most suffocating barrier is held captive within your own neurology. Think about the quiet phrases echoing in the background of your mind, the beliefs you absorbed decades ago that now act as emotional jailers. Money is difficult. It's not for people like me. Everything good must be preceded by pain. These aren't just thoughts. They are the vibrational frequency of your financial existence. They create an unconscious state that communicates to the world. Resistance. When you feel urgency or desperation about money, your internal operating system sends out a signal of lack, and life, in its infinite wisdom, simply delivers more evidence of that lack. This is a phenomenon of financial magnetism, and for many, that magnet is currently tuned to push away the very abundance they are striving to attract. You feel the pain because you are trying to force a thriving reality through a perception filter designed for limitation. The emotional tension increases not because you are fundamentally incapable, but because the misalignment between your effort, conscious desire, and your belief, subconscious conviction, is creating an unbearable friction. We have reached a point where the only path forward is not to work harder at money, but to work deeper on the self that interacts with money. We must locate that silent, repeating script and rewrite it, understanding that maintaining the negative beliefs means consciously choosing a life of chronic limitation. The urgency is immense, and the first step toward dissolving this pattern is recognizing that the emotional landscape is where the real work begins. To begin the transformation, we must first become archaeologists of our own minds, digging deep into the soil where these limiting beliefs were planted. Your money story did not begin the day you earned your first dollar. It began the moment you first witnessed the emotional weight money carried in your childhood home. Did your parents speak of money with stress, tension, or resentment? Did they associate it with secrecy or shame? Did you overhear constant arguments about bills, creating an unconscious conviction that wealth equals conflict? These early observations form your financial blueprint, a non-negotiable set of rules your subconscious mind enforces, often without your awareness. Your subconscious's primary job is not to make you wealthy. It is to keep you safe and consistent with the established reality. If the established reality of your youth was that money equals danger, scarcity, or hard work, your system will actively sabotage any attempt to achieve easy flow or true abundance, because that would violate the blueprint and trigger a perceived threat. This programming is powerful because it is woven into emotional memories. When you go for promotion or consider starting an investment, that familiar knot of anxiety you feel is not fear of the future. It is the echo of the past. It's the voice of your 8-year-old self whispering, "Be careful, this always ends badly." The key to awareness is non-judgmental observation. I want you to start tracking the feeling that arises whenever you receive a bill, discuss a salary, or contemplate a major purchase. Is it dread, shame, excitement, or guilt? By identifying emotion, you locate the underlying belief. For example, if you feel guilt every time you spend money on pleasure, the underlying belief might be, "My needs are secondary," or "Wealth is selfish." This self-awareness is the crucial hinge point. Until you illuminate these deeply held unconscious convictions, they will continue to act as powerful, silent gravity, pulling you back toward perceived safety of struggle, no matter how hard you consciously paddle toward prosperity. Now that we have illuminated the roots, it's time to actively break the cycle by challenging and replacing the core financial myths that hold millions captive. The most damaging myths are those that equate virtue with poverty and success with moral compromise. Consider the widespread belief that Money is the root of all evil. This myth forces an agonizing psychological split. You desire financial freedom, yet your subconscious moral code tells you that achieving it will corrupt you, making you unworthy or inherently selfish. We must immediately replace this corrosive lie with the truth. Money is merely a tool, an energy, and an amplifier. It possesses no inherent moral character. Its morality is determined solely by the hands that wield it. If you are a person of integrity, generosity, and compassion, wealth simply amplifies those positive qualities, enabling greater service and impact. Another pervasive myth is a scarcity mindset, the conviction that the pie is limited, and if someone else succeeds, it diminishes your own potential. This narrow, fear-based perspective immediately triggers comparison and envy, emotions that are fundamentally incompatible with attracting abundance. We must replace scarcity with the truth of infinite possibility. Prosperity is not a finite resource. Financial growth is generative. One person's success often creates opportunities for dozens of others. By truly internalizing the understanding that there is always enough, that resources flow constantly through connection and contribution, you liberate your mind from the grip of competitive anxiety. Furthermore, abandon the myth that financial freedom must be achieved through burnout and constant suffering. While discipline is necessary, suffering is optional. True abundance flows best when you are aligned, joyful, and operating from a space of ease and competence. These powerful new truths, that money is a tool for good, that abundance is infinite, and that success can be joyful, must be repeated, visualized, and lived until they become the new, dominant operating system of your mind, literally reshaping the neural pathways of prosperity. The shift from intellectual awareness to true financial magnetism requires action, but not the frantic, exhausting action of the past. We are now talking about aligned action, small, powerful daily habits that reinforce the new, positive programming. This is the bridge between thinking abundantly and living abundantly. The most potent internal action you can take is the practice of financial gratitude. This is often misunderstood. It's not just about being thankful for the millions you don't have yet. It's about acknowledging and truly feeling gratitude for the resources you possess right now, the reliable flow of income, the shelter over your head, the food in your pantry, the stable bank account, even if the balance is low. By sincerely appreciating the current reality, you shift your frequency from a vibration of not enough to a vibration of I am well supported. This immediate change in emotional state is crucial because abundance doesn't flow toward need. It flows toward appreciation. Complement this with visualization, not just of a future outcome, but a feeling of being financially masterful. Close your eyes and feel the emotional maturity that comes with handling your finances with confidence, the ease of making aligned investment decisions, and the deep, quiet safety of knowing your needs are met and exceeded. This practice anchors the identity we are building. Simultaneously, introduce a practice of conscious commitment. Before spending or earning, pause. Ask yourself, does this transaction align with a thriving, prosperous version of me? Does this choice reinforce the belief that I am a capable steward of resources? By bringing this mindful intentionality to every financial interaction, no matter how small, from buying a cup of coffee to managing a large deposit, you are consistently proving to your subconscious that the old scarcity narratives are obsolete. These simple, daily acts of emotional alignment are the true secret to unlocking powerful, sustained financial transformation. As these small, aligned actions take hold, we move into the phase of claiming your new financial identity. This is perhaps the most difficult but most necessary step. Shedding the old identity of the struggler, the victim of circumstance, or the person who just isn't good with numbers. You must now step fully into persona of the financial master, the powerful steward, the intelligent investor, the confident earner. This shift is not about performance. It is about being. You stop saying, even internally, I am bad with money, and replace it with, I am evolving into a powerful and responsible creator of wealth. This new identity is non-negotiable. It dictates your actions, your reactions, and your confidence. The financial master understands that prosperity is not just about the size of the portfolio. It is about emotional maturity. It means remaining calm when the market shifts, responding strategically instead of reacting emotionally to unexpected expenses, and understanding that mistakes are merely data points, not personal indictments. This new identity also inherently ties prosperity to purpose. Your capacity to earn and manage wealth is intrinsically linked to your ability to serve the world in a meaningful way. When you view money as a fuel for your purpose, the means by which you amplify your gifts, create opportunity for others, and support ethical solutions, wealth ceases to be a selfish pursuit and becomes a moral obligation. You don't attract true, sustainable abundance until you feel profoundly worthy of having it and using it well. Claiming this identity means accepting that your inherent worth is not determined by your bank balance, but that your bank balance is often a reflection of your internalized sense of worth. We conclude this foundational transformation by locking in this new reality through conscious reprogramming and absolute commitment. The limiting beliefs we dissolve were often held in place by years of repetitive emotional loops. To ensure they do not return, we must install robust, powerful counter-affirmations and maintain emotional alignment with discipline. Take a deep breath now, centering yourself in the quiet certainty of your new potential. Visualize a key turning smoothly in a lock, the invisible key of awareness dissolving the financial prison. Feel the lightness of that release. Now, visualize your financial future not as a desperate goal, but as an inevitable destination. See yourself making wise decisions, receiving unexpected opportunities with grace, and giving freely without fear. This is not a temporary fix. It is your new financial constitution. Commit now to showing up daily for the person you have just defined yourself to be, the powerful steward. We are not just making money. We are cultivating a flow state where money responds to our core beliefs. Repeat this affirmation until it resonates deep in your bones. I am aligned with true prosperity. I receive easily, I manage responsibly, and I give generously. My financial destiny is rooted in ease and competence. Every time scarcity whispers, confront it with this truth. Every time fear arises, anchor yourself in the feeling of being supported. Your evolution is an ongoing process of refinement, constantly tuning your internal magnetism higher. The life of abundance is not something you chase. It is something you become. Step forward now, knowing that the journey toward financial mastery has officially begun. You are worthy of thriving, and you are ready to receive. The pivotal work is complete, yet the true mark of mastery lies not in achieving a breakthrough, but in sustaining it. The most common pitfall for those who reprogram their mindset is the inevitable gravitational pull of the familiar past. Your newly minted financial identity requires constant reinforcement, much like a muscle needs regular training to maintain strength. Consequently, we must now focus on the sophisticated mechanisms of maintenance, specifically addressing the phenomenon known as the wealth thermostat. Many individuals unconsciously set an internal limit on the level of abundance they feel safe holding. When their actual net worth or income exceeds this internalized set point, perhaps $$50, $000 or $$100, $000, a subtle panic sets in. The subconscious triggers behaviors designed to return the system to its perceived equilibrium. Impulsive spending, poor investment choices, or simply ignoring opportunities. This ceiling, often built from early anxieties about the responsibility or visibility of wealth, must be systematically recalibrated. You achieve this not through sudden shock, but through gentle, intentional expansion. Start by visualizing yourself comfortably holding 20% more than your current limit. Spend time daily inhabiting the emotional reality of that slightly higher figure. Not just the money, but the feelings of safety and competence associated with managing it. This slow, deliberate desensitization is paramount to raising your inner thermostat without triggering the protective self-sabotage mechanism. Furthermore, true commitment means mastering the art of the financial setback. Life inevitably presents unexpected dips. a market correction, a lost client, a significant unforeseen expense. The crucial test of your new mindset is not how you handle success, but how swiftly and calmly you recover from loss. The old identity would have spiraled into shame and scarcity. The financial master approaches this moment with detachment, viewing the loss merely as data, not as a personal indictment of worth. Cultivate the practice of emotional first aid for your finances. When a setback occurs, allow yourself 15 minutes to feel the frustration, then immediately pivot to strategic problem solving. Ask, what is the mature, empowered response here? This discipline prevents a momentary market fluctuation from dissolving the psychological infrastructure you have painstakingly built. Moving beyond mere acquisition, another crucial layer is the deployment of your financial compass. Your financial decisions must now be measured against your highest life values, not simply against immediate profit margins. If your core values are freedom and contribution, a high-paying job that consumes 70 hours a week and isolates you from your family is, in fact, a net loss regardless of salary. Conversely, choosing a path with moderate income that allows you to live with autonomy and invest time in community service represents an enormous return on investment, aligning wealth creation with life fulfillment. When you align your portfolio and your career path to reflect your integrity and purpose, the stress around money naturally dissipates because you are no longer chasing arbitrary societal metrics. You are investing a life that deeply resonates with your authentic self. This alignment also enables a powerful practice of allowing. Many people become excellent at the effort of attracting opportunities, hustling, networking, pushing, but they subtly block the final step, the effortless receiving of unexpected good fortune. This blockage manifests as suspicion, unworthiness, or a need to immediately analyze and diminish the gift. The skill of allowing involves accepting synchronicities, surprise windfalls, or sudden beneficial connections without requiring an immediate, stressful explanation or justification. When a door opens easily, step through it without skepticism. Trust the flow you have consciously cultivated. Your commitment now is to maintain this open channel, ensuring that your inner world, stabilized by the raised thermostat, tested by resilience, and guided by your compass, is perpetually tuned to receive the highest level of abundance with grace and profound inner peace. This consistent maintenance is the definition of true financial evolution. Reflecting on this journey so far, notice how the landscape of your internal financial world has subtly yet fundamentally shifted. That agonizing friction, the constant internal tug-of-war between ambition and sabotage, has begun to yield to a deep, resonant calm. Where once there was the sound of a desperate, grinding effort, there is now the quiet hum of efficiency. We have moved past simply identifying chains. We have located and dissolved the core neurological architecture that gave them their strength. The heavy burden you carried, the subconscious mandate to struggle and prove your worth through relentless sacrifice, is no longer the dominant program. Imagine standing on a vast, open plain, no longer trapped in the cramped, shadowed alcoves of scarcity. The air is clearer, and for the first time, you are seeing the true depth and dimensionality of possibility. This clarity is a cumulative effect of challenging the deep-seated narratives that defined your limits. It is the realization that the universe was never holding back resources. It was your internal signaling system, broadcasting a frequency of resistance, that filtered them out. Now the signal is pure. This is a powerful psychological pivot. The moment the struggle to force outcomes transforms into the steady, unwavering certainty of attracting them. The most profound implication of this work lies in the transformation of your self-concept. The person who approached this journey felt like a novice, navigating a hostile financial ocean with a cracked compass. The person emerging is a captain of their own vessel, recognizing that the external storms are less terrifying than the self-inflicted chaos of unconscious decisions. You have shed the identity of the financial victim and replaced it with that of the powerful, emotionally mature steward. This is not mere self-help rhetoric. It is a neurological rewiring that changes the way you hold yourself during a negotiation, the way you speak about your capacity to earn, and the quiet dignity with which you process both profit and loss. That foundational feeling of being fundamentally unworthy is substantial. Sustained abundance has been irrevocably dismantled. This newly established internal alignment acts much like achieving orbital velocity. When an object reaches a certain speed, it ceases to fight the Earth's gravity and begins to effortlessly circle it. Your mind, achieving congruence between conscious desire and subconscious expectation, has reached that velocity. The resources, the opportunities, and the insights that felt impossible to grasp when you were fighting on the ground now begin to align themselves naturally in your path. This is the essence of financial magnetism fully activated. It is a response to reality to your coherent internal state. There's a profound lightness that comes from knowing your actions are no longer fueled by panic or lack, but by deep purpose and ethical intention. We stand now at the precipice of sustained mastery. The foundational work is done, but a masterpiece requires permanence. The critical question shifts from, how do I get it, to how do I responsibly and joyously maintain the state of flow, expanding my capacity to receive without reverting to old, restrictive patterns? This requires a final, essential commitment, the daily pledge to honor the evolved self you have worked so diligently to create. We are ready to make this transformation undeniable, anchoring this new identity so securely that the old narratives lose their power forever. This is the moment to claim not just success, but financial sovereignty. We have traveled far from that cramped, internal room where the phrases money is difficult, and it's not for me echoed like solitary confinement walls. Our journey wasn't merely about tweaking a budget or optimizing an investment strategy. It was an intimate excavation of the soul's deepest financial assumptions. We learned that the universe isn't some indifferent cosmic bank manager denying your withdrawals. It is a mirror reflecting the coherence or chaos of your internal narrative. The pain you felt was a necessary signal, the friction indicating a profound misalignment between the life you were consciously striving for and the limiting story your subconscious was compelled to repeat. The true transformation, therefore, is not the acquisition of wealth, but quiet, dignified mastery over your own internal state regarding it. You have ceased the desperate chase and begun the elegant dance of attraction. This shift moves you from the energy of trying to the power of being. The invisible key we discussed, that technique of dissolving deep beliefs, was never an external formula. It was the activation of your own awareness, the willingness to look unflinchingly at the emotional inheritance that shaped your scarcity. By cleaning that lens, by replacing inherited fear with earned conviction, you didn't change the world. You changed your relationship with it. And because money at its core is simply energy flowing through relationships, your external reality began to respond almost immediately. The ultimate implication of this entire journey is the recognition of your own economic sovereignty. You are no longer subject to the arbitrary whims of market fluctuations or perceived luck. You are the deliberate architect of your financial ecology. This is not just about attracting a better balance sheet. It is about cultivating an unshakable inner peace that is not dependent on external validation. When you feel worthy, when you operate from a space of calm competence rather than anxious striving, you become magnetic to aligned opportunities. Wealth ceases to be a source of stress and transforms into a powerful medium for expressing your purpose, amplifying your generosity, and investing in a world you genuinely wish to see. This is a freedom of a life lived without the burden of constant financial fear, a state where decisions are made strategically, not defensively. Your final commitment, as you step fully into this new identity, is simple yet profound. Maintain the coherence. Do not allow the ghosts of old fears to reclaim the real estate of your mind. Treat every challenge not as a potential collapse, but as a calibration check, ensuring your inner magnet remains tuned to the highest frequency of abundance. You possess the blueprint, the knowledge, and the intrinsic worth. Go forth, not merely to succeed, but to truly thrive, with the quiet confidence of someone who knows, fundamentally and eternally, that they are worthy of receiving and capable of sustaining true prosperity. The universe is waiting to collaborate with the aligned self you have just created.